Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching Creatives of North Texas. My guest today has been active in the comedy scene in North Texas, and he's from Midland, and I'm glad to have Luke Moore here today, man. Thank you for coming down.
Thanks, man.
So, how long have you lived in Denton?
I moved here in 13.
13?
Yes.
Yeah. To start going to UNT?
Right.
What did you major in?
Well, I was doing RTVF,
Oh, yeah.
radio, television, film, and then my GPA got too low, so I changed to communications.
Really?
Yeah.
And so you've had an interest in making movies in the industry?
Yeah, I used to.
Really? Yeah.
I changed all my aspirations when my GPA got too low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of editing and things like that's kind of technical, though, and using cameras. I don't know much about cameras myself. I always wanted to take some classes over there, but...
Yeah, I took just enough classes to kind of lose my interest in movies, or at least now I can't watch a movie without just analyzing like how they made it and how
Oh,
they
really?
shot it.
Yeah.
I don't even pay attention to the plot of movies anymore. I just look at the aesthetics of it.
Yeah.
So it's ruined something I used to enjoy.
Yeah, I ruined that for my mom and her boyfriend. I said, that's camera number 1, camera number 2 right there, you know, and
Yeah.
my mom said now when she watches TV that she thinks about that.
But that's just talk shows, right?
Well, like even with shows like Bonanza, I would just say, okay, see, that's one camera. Now, see, that's a different camera,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
And they were like, oh my God, we never thought about that, you know. But it's amazing what can be done with the art of film, you know, and how it just can preserve history, and I would know nothing about other musicians if it weren't for videos that I've seen, you know, and records I've listened to, and like comedians. And I remember Red Fox released an album a long time ago, you know. It was just mixed in with all the music, and I think he was one of the first comedians to release albums like that. I don't know, maybe there were a lot of others and I just noticed his, but...
Yeah, so it would be like music, and then in between music there'd be comedy, or there'd be comedy over some music.
I think, yeah, like it was, yeah.
Yeah, I should probably check out more Red Fox. I've only seen Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So I guess that's when he was like old and stuff.
Yeah.
He probably wasn't as cutting edge by that point.
Maybe not, yeah.
Yeah.
But he was talented.
Yeah, definitely.
Richard Pryor, I thought was, he could get to you, I think, you know. Could get to push a nerve or something.
Right. I think every comedian nowadays just does Richard Pryor.
Really?
Kind of. Well, like 90% of comedians.
That he is a big influence, you feel?
Yeah, because he's real conversational.
Yeah.
Didn't seem like he was telling jokes, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seemed like he was just talking to you, and that's what, like how a lot of people do comedy.
Yeah, and Steve Martin's kind of like that, isn't he?
I would say Steve Martin is a little more jokey, and he seems to be a little bit more deliberate with his kind of the way he says stuff. You know, with Richard Pryor, it doesn't seem like, I don't know if he did or not, but it doesn't seem like he would like repeat himself over and over, or like night after night. You know, it didn't look like he was doing a routine.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve Martin would do routines, and it
Yeah.
seemed like he would rep that, like repetition, that like each night it seemed like.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's specific beats in all his jokes, and you can just, it seems to me that he would practice those beats.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Something.
The timing of it or whatever.
Whereas Richard Pryor, maybe Richard Pryor still, you know, set up, like wrote jokes like word for word, but it seems so conversational, and that's what I think a lot of people do Richard Pryor now. Whereas like I don't think that many people do Steve Martin.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
And like Red Skelton, it seemed like he had these various characters that now I'm Clem Cadiddlehopper or whatever, and
I haven't seen much Red Skeleton at all because he make his VHS tapes like and DVDs really expensive?
I'm not sure, he might have.
Like it was some like legal battle. I don't know. I guess he like his stuff isn't syndicated or something.
Yeah.
My Gramps he likes Red Skeleton, and he was complaining about that one time.
Yeah, it's almost like he got blackballed or something. He was on TV a lot, I think with Buick or somebody like that, and then he was just totally gone,
That's such a cool name. I don't know what Red Skeleton looks like. I just picture him as a red skeleton.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably great.
Yeah, and there was a famous poet back, I think in the 1600s, John Skelton.
Oh yeah? Was he
Yeah.
a skeleton?
I don't know, and I don't know if that might have been one of his distant relatives or something, but.
Yeah.
But
Well, kind of everybody's a skeleton
yeah, that's true.
if you think about it.
Yeah,
So
that's a big thing with art of drawing people. Just thinking about the skeleton.
yeah. Because if you had some bones missing, you'd probably look a little different.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And you'd want to put that into account if you're drawing them. Like if you're drawing a person without bones,
Yeah, like a limp finger or something.
then that must be really hard to draw that.
Yeah, like who was it? Who drew the melted clocks?
Dolly?
Yeah.
Dolly. That's what Pitbull says. Do you know Pitbull?
Yeah.
He's
kinda.
a Cuban rapper, and
Yeah.
he says Dale, I think. I hope I have that word right. It might be a different letter or something.
Salvador Dali. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big Dolly fan, I think.
Like of the current big star comedians, who are some of your favorites now?
I'm my own favorite comedian.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just kidding. I'm not.
I'm not really familiar with a lot of the cutting edge comedians of today, like Louis C.K. Do you like him?
Yeah. I think he did some unforgivable acts, but I still like his comedy.
Yeah. And he had a show?
Yeah, he had some shows. Oh yeah, I really liked it. I liked his show. His show called Louie. It was
Louie.
really good.
Yeah. I've seen that a few times. And there's some out there that have been comedians for a long time who are still quite active, I guess.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's a thing you don't really have to retire from
Yeah.
necessarily.
Sinbad, is that a person?
Yeah, I've seen Sinbad.
Sinbad, yeah.
I like Sinbad.
Yeah.
He did 3 hours when I saw him.
Really?
Yeah. He would just,
Boy, that's a lot.
he had some written jokes. I don't know if they were that written. He had some jokes, some stories that he's
Yeah.
probably told before, but after a while he would just point at an audience member and they would say a topic, and then he would do 20 minutes on the topic, and it would be really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can talk, that guy.
It's a gift.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm as talkative as Sinbad. Maybe I am right now just because I drank some coffee before I came here.
Yeah.
But
I'm trying to envision what he looks and sounds like, but
yeah, he has a big gold earring, and he's maybe the most light-skinned black guy of all time.
really, yeah.
Yeah. And that's about all you need to know.
Yeah. Is he a tall guy?
He's really tall, yeah.
Yeah, really tall, yeah. Pretty big, yeah. So Death Star, what is that exactly?
The Death Star is
And do you really work there?
planet-sized weapon created by the Empire. And I don't work there, but my Facebook says I do work there.
Yeah.
That's something I wrote in maybe when I first made my Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
When I was 14.
And they won't let you change it now or whatever?
I don't know. I don't want to change it.
Yeah, you just left it, yeah.
It's a good,
That's how you felt then, yeah.
Yeah, and I heard employers will look you up on your Facebook,
Yeah.
and if they see that I work at the Death Star, they might, that might, they might be a big fan of Star Wars or
Yeah,
something.
that's
and
true,
then
yeah.
They would, want to hire
yeah,
me because I
yeah.
work at the Death Star.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's probably true. The way things are these days, it's very popular, and I like it. Hat Tricks you've done the open mic there in Louisville at Hat Tricks.
yeah, Hat Tricks is a sports bar in Louisville,
Oh.
and it's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Except they do have a big stage where really it's not for comedy, which is, if you do comedy around here, you're gonna do comedy on a lot of music stages, and Hat Tricks is it's a really cool place because they have all these cover bands that go there.
Really? Yeah.
They have like Rage Against the Machine cover bands,
Really?
and yeah, you name it. Yeah. They have like the most ridiculous cover bands. I've never been, but I've seen videos of like the Rage Against the Machine cover band that they have there.
Yeah, they have a pretty big floor space.
They'll advertise it. Yeah, it's a pretty big floor space, and you'll get like a lot of, I don't know, blue collar Louisville people, and like they'll heckle you when you're there, and it's pretty good heckles. It's it's a from a perspective that I think sounds good in a heckling voice.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty intense. So you have to go in there and get up in front of these people, and you've never seen them before, don't know them, and
Right.
yeah,
And they're drunk.
drunk. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I don't usually get that confrontational on stage.
Yeah.
I try not to.
Yeah. Really. Yeah.
I try to stay,
Yeah.
lighthearted.
Oh yeah.
But my friend Lawrence Rosales, he got a shoe. He got 2 shoes thrown at him once.
Really.
One, when we were on a show at Hat Tricks one time. Because there was a drunk lady heckling him, and he kept yelling back, and then she eventually took off I think it was a
Really.
high-heeled shoe.
Yeah.
And which is, you don't want to, that'll put an eye out,
Really.
But Lawrence was able to kind of George Bush his way out of the, the shoe attacks.
That's good. Did she come back up to the stage to get her shoes later?
I think she did eventually get on stage, yeah, and barefooted, and she got her shoes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was she having a good time, or was she angry then?
She was having a time. I don't know exactly what her emotions were. I think she was just, she may have been like blacked out or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this 4-alarm fundraiser week
This is at Andy's.
at Andy's? Yeah.
And they're having like a 4 or 5, like a whole week of performances each night, and I guess you go there and you buy a ticket to watch the music or whatever.
Yeah.
They're having music. They're having on tomorrow, Friday. They're having magic, like Richie Flo,
Yeah.
and his friend Monaco. He's a great magician too, and they're having me do some stand up. I keep touching the microphone. Is that okay? Probably not. They're having like a lot of comedy, and yeah, it's a fundraiser for the antique malls.
Oh,
that
okay.
burned down.
Yeah, that burned down. I see. That makes sense. Well, that's a really good thing, because that has really just been a sad event for the town.
Yeah. I mean, everybody would go to the mini malls.
Yeah. Look around at all kinds of things, and for all the people who worked there and had booths, and the store owner, it's been so much work now to figure out what to do.
Yeah, I wish I would have bought that Zelda shield that they had
Yeah.
out in the. I always thought about buying it. It's like $700 or something, but I could. I don't have a shield. I could use a shield.
Yeah. It'd be a cool thing to have. Now, I guess they have to do inventory on all those items.
Yeah. you don't know what you got till it's gone, and then when it's gone, you don't know what it was because it's all burnt up. So
All burnt up,
you're
yeah.
not really sure what you even had.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Especially paperwork in there. All the paperwork is burned up, I guess. All the receipts and certificates. And
All the photos of shoplifters are burned up. I bet those guys were like, yes. But then, they don't. Where are they going to shoplift now? They
Yeah.
they don't even have a place anymore.
Yeah.
So
They can just go down to they're still operating out of the number 2, I think.
the number 2.
Yeah, there was a number 1 and number 2.
Oh yeah, they had names.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have just had a door in between them or something.
Yeah.
Or were they not? They're separated.
Yeah, there's some other like La-Ti-Da.
Yeah. No one ever talks about La-Di-Da. Like that place is burned down. People only care about the mini malls.
Well, no, I'm sure people are concerned about her also, and I think she's been operating somewhat, but I don't know. I've seen various signs on the windows. I can't remember what I've seen, but it's been a lot of work for everybody. What is this Desert Flower Art Bar?
That is the Desert Flower Art Bar. Is in Big Spring, Texas,
Oh,
and which Big Spring, Texas is like a 40-minute drive east of Midland.
of Midland, yeah.
So, which is where I'm from, which you said that. And
Did you go to elementary school and high school out there?
yeah, I went to Bowie Elementary, and then Washington Elementary, and then back to Bowie Elementary, and then San Jacinto Junior High, which is where George Bush went.
Really?
George W. Bush, yeah.
Hmm.
And then I went to Midland Freshman High School,
Yeah.
which is, for some reason, they have a separate ninth grade school. It's actually because Midland and Ector County, which has Odessa, they were like the last counties in Texas or maybe even in the U.S. to like desegregate schools. So we have like all these extra schools still.
Oh,
We have like a bunch of, so I think that's what the case was. And so we have like this extra school for ninth graders, and then Midland High is where I graduated from.
how big was your senior class?
I don't know. I think it was like, okay, so just for like to ballpark it, it was under 1,000. It was probably like 500 or maybe like 600 or
Yeah,
something.
that's a lot of people though.
It was a 5A school, so.
It's hard to know people when there's so many.
Yeah, like the two people I set on each side of me at graduation, I did not know.
Really, yeah.
I met them then.
Then, yeah.
So,
Were you involved with did you do sports in high school?
no, I just marching band.
Marching band?
Yeah.
What did you play?
You want to guess?
I don't know.
I played the trombone.
The trombone, really?
A lot of people guess that. Like when I guess were you in band?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people guess. If it's not their first guess, it's their second guess.
Yeah, well, you don't look like a flute player, really.
I don't look like a flute player. You could probably tell I didn't play percussion just because I'm not cool or something. Or not.
You don't have a beat.
I'm too beatless. Yeah.
Some people, when they hear music, they want to go,
Yeah.
but you don't
like-
feel those inclinations.
Well, if I try to do that, I'm going to get off beat and embarrass myself.
Yeah.
So I restrain.
When was the very first time you ever did stand-up comedy?
That was in 2012. That was in like July or August of 2012 in Midland.
About 5 years ago?
Yeah, like five
Or 6?
5.5, yeah.
5.5, yeah.
And I've never really stopped since then. Like
Yeah.
it's been one continuous thing. It's not like I did stand up once and then I waited a few years.
Yeah, you've done a lot. You've been on Denton Radio, haven't you?
Have I? Yeah, with Joey Johnson.
Really? Yeah. Interviewed there, yeah.
Yeah, that was, and Richie Flo was there too, and Pudge.
And then you do. You were at Dan Silverleaf in October.
That was Dan Silverleaf was Two Brave Boys. That's Taylor Higginbotham, Brad McKenzie, and they do a thing with you, where they interview you on stage
Oh, really?
at Dance de Relief, yeah. And it's really cool. It's honestly it's definitely the most unique show in Denton, comedy-wise. There's a lot of comedy shows in Denton, but that one is unique and pretty cool. And it's almost like you get to do stand-up. Like I did stand-up on that show. And then they also have like an improv almost section where it's like, whose line is it anyways, almost. Except it's no games. It's just they interview you and you kind of goof off. And it's really funny. It's really funny.
Is it like a webcast?
I think it's a podcast.
Podcast.
I think it might be on iTunes. I should ask. I don't know. But it's called Two Brave Boys.
Two Brave Boys.
Yeah.
And who are the guys again?
Taylor Higginbotham and Brad McKenzie. And like, they're just...
Do they do that regularly?
I think they do it every week still.
Every week? Yeah.
I used to go to it more. It's really late. It's Mondays at 10 o'clock at night or something like that.
Yeah.
10:30 or something.
Yeah.
So I don't always go to it because I have to be up in the morning.
Do you have a job now?
I'm a substitute teacher.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
You just teach all various classes?
I stick to high school and middle school.
Yeah.
I did third grade once. Not interested in doing that again.
They're pretty wild.
They really are. They're wild animals.
How many kids did you have in a class? About 30?
It may have been close to 30. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say 25 or so.
Yeah. When you call roll, like you say, John Smith, Tommy Johnson says here, and they answer for each other and things like that.
Yeah, calling roll there's always something that goes wrong with calling roll.
Yeah.
I'll mispronounce a kid's name by like one syllable. Like I'll say like Tamara instead of Tamara, and then everybody will laugh.
Yeah.
Like it's the funniest thing that's happened. The funniest possible thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything's funny that embarrasses the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll embarrass myself a lot because each day I'm in a different classroom and I have to get used to where the table is and the chair and like how much the chair spins, and
Yeah.
I'm like trying not to fall down and knock stuff over because there's little things on tables and I have long arms, so I have to get used to my environment. If I ever have an off period where I have no students, I just study how to like not embarrass myself for the rest of the day.
Yeah. It's a constant battle.
Yeah, I like read over the sub plans and make sure I don't mess up.
Got all the strategies down. And I saw on your Facebook the improv, is that the Arlington Improv?
I go to the Arlington Improv all the time, yeah. I don't go to the Addison Improv that much. I've been there like 4 times. But the Arlington Improv, I'm friends with everybody there.
Really?
They all love me. I do the open mic a lot. Even though it's all the way in Arlington, I like to make the drive because it's a good mic. And I get along with pretty much everybody there.
That's good.
Yeah.
They have pretty good crowds there a lot of times.
That's probably the number one reason I go, actually, is there's
Yeah.
actually a lot of people in the audience
Yeah.
relative to other open mics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the entertainment capital of Texas, I guess, Arlington.
It has to be. That place is pretty cool. It's like all parking lots and like big trucks and theme parks and yeah.
And could be people from anywhere, just tourists traveling across America, just
Yeah.
stopping in Arlington to take the kids to Six Flags, and in the evening they want to go to the comedy club.
Yeah, we've all been to Six Flags.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all been to Arlington, right?
Hurricane Harbor, is that it?
Is that in Arlington too? It probably is.
I
Yeah.
think.
I think I've been there, but
Yeah.
As a kid, it was just Dallas.
Go to
me.
Dallas for
Yeah.
fun things, yeah.
Like Fort Worth was Dallas.
Yeah.
That's an outsider. I'm not from here. I'm not from this conglomerate of 80,000 cities.
Yeah.
I'm from West Texas, where there's no cities in my radius. And then here, it's just like you drive down any street, and it's just like Chili's, Best Buy, Chili's, Best Buy.
The same things over and over.
Yeah, and then at Midland is like Chili's and Best Buy, and then also it does have a Chili's and a Best Buy, but nowhere. You have to go to Lubbock for the next Chili's or Best Buy.
Yeah.
And then here it's just like you can go to Chili's and Best Buy all day long and go to like 8 different ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know it. It's the life in the 21st century. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I need blinders or something. There's too much stuff trying to make its way into my brain.
I know it. Too much information, overload of information.
I'm too connected. I'm overly connected.
Yeah.
My phone's ringing right now.
Right now.
I thought I put on silent. It's on vibrate, but it's pretty. I'm gonna just set it down on the ground. Cause
Somebody's always texting
yeah, someone's always texting,
or posting something.
and someone's always not texting back, and that's me. Because I'm not a slave to computer chips. I mean, I probably am a little bit. We're surrounded by computer chips right now, actually.
Really?
Yeah. They're all looking at us and recording us. Recording our every movement.
Yeah. Do you think microwaves can spy on us?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
I think so, yeah.
Like in your comedy, do you have there's certain routines you use repeatedly that you continue to use because they work well?
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to be consistent.
Consistent, yeah.
I can kind of really when I'm having the most fun with my comedy is when I'm going on stage and like riffing, or even just in between jokes when I'm just making stuff up. But that's only works like, that only works when it works, and the jokes that are good and easy to say and that they work every time, those are cool because you can just fill up a whole 5 minutes or 10 minutes with just the jokes that do good.
Yeah.
And then people will think you're like amazing,
To keep the momentum going like that.
That's the goal. That's the goal. I don't do that enough. I don't have tight, good sets. I kind of do goof off a lot on stage. But
Are there certain subjects that you tend to write about?
No, because like I think like a lot of my jokes are just weird, like arbitrary, like trivial, like silly things to talk about, and they don't usually pertain to any part of my real life experience. I mean, they do, but it's abstractly or
Yeah.
yeah. I tend to, because I'm not conversational with my stand-up. Maybe I am, but I tend to be, more like Steve Martin, where I just say like silly stuff rather than Richard Pryor, who says like real life kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it was on the streets.
Yeah, and maybe it's because I have like a bland existence thus far, and I grew up sheltered to a little bit or something. I'm a little weird. I don't like to be literal. I like to be a little more coded or mysterious, or
Yeah.
I like to be a little more like metaphorical with my dealings.
Well, that makes sense.
At least with the stand-up comedy, because
Yeah.
it seems exhausting kind of to go up there all the time up on stage and try to be myself and just broadcast myself rather than, and I don't exactly do characters either,
Yeah.
but I like the idea of being like a, acting out a weird little performance rather than just making myself the performance, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a distance, a thing that I like to have, you know. But it's like I can't really be myself totally on stage because it's unnatural. I'm never going to talk to 50 plus people at once.
At once, yeah.
So I feel like you're kind of kidding yourself if you, at least I am. I would be kidding myself if I'm going up there and trying to just be me, you know. I have to ham it up a little bit and be weird.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have to be a little distorted. I'm going to distort myself because I'm talking to all these people. So I'm going to be weird.
Well, that's cool, and I appreciate you being here today to talk about your comedy and places where you've been working and performing. And so you guys check Luke Moore out, and thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.